point of view is everything in a relationship, man. The way you deliver things is huge. You can say something that you want them to do, but say it in a nice way and maybe a polite way. And maybe if they don't listen to you a couple times, then you can get negative with it.
You can attack everything.
You need to get things done.
Welcome to another episode of Millennial Dads, guys.
All right.
You know, another week, Max. How you doing?
I'm tired.
Tired
To
this
be
week?
honest.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
been a long ass week.
I bet it is, and we're halfway through it. You know, we're not quite there, but
Yeah.
halfway through it.
Yeah. It's been a crazy week.
Yeah.
But overall, how do you like this so far? This setup. It's something new.
I like this setup. It feels good.
Yeah.
Guys, let us know what you guys think. I feel this view is pretty nice. You know, added for another Max and Steve podcast. Just throwing it out there.
I like it just because I feel more engaged, like with you in a conversation versus trying to like turn to the side, and you know,
Try to break your neck to try to get to me.
And the chairs were hot as hell. Number one, two, trying to do it with the keyboard and everything because you know I don't. My daughter's got a lot of stuff on her plate already, so I don't want this to be a burden for her.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
I still want her to be able to do the things that she wants to do. So it makes it easier for me to do the keyboard stuff too.
I mean, I think I like it. I like the setup. I feel like I can definitely engage you more.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I'm actually having a conversation with you.
Yeah. Definitely sitting
To
at the
be
table
honest.
discussing some
Like
stuff.
if we were having lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, man, it's the whole Trump and
Yeah.
Biden.
Yeah. I did catch that, you know, shooting from the last time we talked.
Yeah, dude.
That's pretty nuts. You know,
It's-
thank God no
and
one.
everything that's coming out.
Yeah. Nothing was. Hopefully, no fatalities, right? I don't think anybody was.
No, there was.
There
like rest in
was.
peace for a firefighter.
Oh,
he
man.
and it sucks because there were so many people that were coming out and saying that it was a hoax, which was kind of really pissing me off.
Yeah.
Because initially, even when I called you after it happened,
Yeah.
you were like, "Oh, dude, you called it on the last podcast. Like you called it. You called it." I was like, "No, dude." Like I was like, my first thought was, "Is Trump alive?"
Yeah.
My second one was, "Where did that round go?"
Yeah.
Because if it didn't hit him, it went through his ear.
And-
Because you know
yeah.
me and ballistics and everything. Excuse me. I was worried about where that round went. I even asked my wife. I said, "Is anybody dead?"
Yeah.
And she was like, "There's nothing left, nothing as of now." And then I want to say it was like 2 hours. I found out that that round actually killed the dad as he was trying to protect his daughter and his wife.
Yeah. Rest in
I
peace.
can't
that guy.
remember
True
the-
hero, man.
Yeah, seriously. Like I couldn't.
Protecting your wife and your kids.
A dad.
Yeah, exactly. Being a dad, I mean, what more honor do you need to just protect your loved ones? You know?
Yeah, he was a firefighter, and when the rounds hit, he took his wife and his daughter to the ground, like into the bleachers, and covered them. And the round struck the back of his head.
Oh snap,
Yeah, Died.
man.
Yeah,
Damn,
yeah,
that's sad. Yeah, I definitely was one of those people I thought wasn't real. I feel bad now that I know that someone lost their life.
yeah.
So obviously it wasn't a hoax.
It's impossible to stage that.
I mean, if you did, you got to be a piece of shit to
Well,
kill
not
someone
only that,
just to get some fucking votes. That's all I'm saying.
inherently those rifles, there's a deviation, and this is on the good ones, even mine.
Yeah.
There's a deviation anywhere from an inch to an inch and a half, and that is a really good AR. Even better ones that are more accurized, you'll be under about a half inch of a deviation of where that round is going to go at 100 yards.
Okay.
Okay? The type of rifle that he had, the standard deviation for that as far as grouping goes is anywhere from 3 to 4 inches. That's a military doctrine standard. Military says, hey, as long as that round is consistent, if you aim in the same spot, as long as it's within 4 inches of each other,
Yeah.
you're good to go.
Yeah.
No. So that shot, knowing the ballistics I know and how ARs work, there's no way you can stage that.
And do you think Trump just got lucky and just turned the right way?
Yes, God was looking out for him.
You know, he definitely he could have looked the other way and it probably would have been a different story that we're talking about right now. You
It'd
know?
be a lot of chaos.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
it would be. Yeah,
You know,
it was definitely wild.
it would be life changing. It would be life changing for everybody for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we've never even seen it. You know, well, I guess Bill Clinton, didn't he get an attempt assassination towards him? Or who? I'm trying to think in
I'm
our
not too sure.
lifetime. I can't. Really,
The only one I know 100% for sure, the last one was on
Jeff.
Reagan.
Yeah. Oh, okay, Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, when he was coming out of the,
Yeah.
forgot where he was coming out of, and he ended up getting shot in, I think his thigh or his hip or something, and they got him back into the vehicle, and he ended up living.
Yeah.
But I can't 100% recall, to be
Yeah.
honest.
And all the fans are wearing the bandage, you know, on the side.
But that is a awesome picture though.
Yeah. Well, they
With
have,
Trump's fist in the air and the
Yeah.
flag right behind him.
yes. Yeah. It was a great picture. You know.
Yeah.
And you know, he hesitated to do it too, because he wasn't sure if the shooter was still there.
Yeah.
And you can see it. He hesitated, and he just went for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember where I was when you called me, and I was flipping out. I was like, "No
Yeah.
way!" You were like, "Turn on the TV or
Yeah.
find something to look at."
Yeah, because I was at my daughter's soccer tournament. So
Yeah, and I showed my wife right when you told me, and I was like, "Dude, there is no way." And it was, and you could see it, like you could hear it, and you could see exactly where he felt it too.
yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was a nut.
It was mind-boggling for sure, dude.
It's nuts that no one's seen him though. Like,
No, there. I don't want to get too
Yeah.
into it.
I mean, they saw him, they just didn't engage. Maybe they thought it wasn't real, and maybe they just thought, "Oh, he's just hovering." But still, I don't
Let me know if you guys want me to talk about this. And
Yeah.
we didn't want to talk about this. There's other things that we want to talk about. Some things that I think that need to be discussed. But let us know if you want to see. Kind of, I'm not an expert when it comes. I mean, I have a lot of
think you
knowledge
are. I
on this
think you
stuff,
are.
and so does your. Believe it or not, I would love to have Joey on here.
Yeah.
because he's PSD, so he knows.
Yeah.
So it's having him on here, and then having me on here, and then someone like you that's kind of out of it that would
Yeah.
ask the right questions.
Yeah.
I think would be a great podcast. Now that I'm thinking about it,
Yeah.
because he does have that in his record of PSD. So do I.
Yeah.
And our knowledge and our answer, his knowledge of it is, and my knowledge plus my knowledge on ballistics, I think it would make for a very, very, very good, intriguing podcast.
Yeah.
But if you guys don't believe me when it comes to it being an impossible shot and impossible for it to be staged, look up Grantham's video. He does an amazing job on it.
I don't think nothing is impossible, but
No, it's impossible.
It'd be really
at 100.
hard.
No, at that stage, at that timing, with that round, that caliber, it is impossible.
Yeah.
I am telling you right now, it is impossible.
All right. Well, shoot a like, subscribe. Let us know if you guys want to talk about that topic. That way we can get something going on that in the next one.
I'm really gonna be hitting up your brother and be like, hey, dude, we need to have this discussion.
Yeah.
Because I can sit here all day long and tell you what I know
Yeah.
and how I treat principles and everything when it comes to those type of details.
Yeah.
And our security bubbles and things that we go over. So I think having him on would be very, very good. But anyways,
Yeah.
so
You know, I do have a couple questions for you though. A lot of my buddies they've been buzzing about, you know, how do you stay married? How do you stay involved with your partner and stay continually falling in love with the person that you had beautiful children with, you know? And, you know, obviously I've, you know, with my current mother of my children, and I continue to be with that wonderful woman that is the love of my life. But a lot of my buddies, you know, they're on their second, you know, baby mama or second marriage, or there's like four of my buddies that have been married twice already. So, you know, what is that? What is that spark? What are the steps to have a successful marriage? You know, is there steps? Is everything wild? You know, it's very, It's very unique. And what do you what's your spin on that, Max? Because you are also like me. We're with our wonderful wife that have carried our children and have been loyal with them for as long as I can be married. So how do you feel about that? What are your key secrets, or what are your number one go-tos if you don't see eye to eye with your significant other?
Damn, dude, Jesus, it's funny because my 15-year wedding anniversary is tomorrow.
Awesome, that's great news, dude.
So,
Hey, a lot of people don't make it there, man.
no, it was funny because we went to Piano, and we met up with some of our friends there. We had a great time. It was last Friday. If you go on Piano Montclair's website, me and Mariana are all over it. Like, I'm not even joking.
Really?
Dang, I should pull those up. Give me some time. I'll pull up those pictures. But it was a great time. And they asked how long we were married, and the dude was like, what'd you guys get married when you were 8? And I was like, they asked us how old we were and everything, and we told them, and he was baffled. He was like, there's no way. Like, he even had to stop playing the keys for a little bit. He was like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah, 15 years, man. Together for 16, married for 15.
That's nuts.
Yeah. So, I mean, that being said, it's not easy, man.
I mean, it's got to be
not.
so easy to throw in the towel after 3 years, let alone 15.
I
right?
mean, the divorce rate, I think, has gone up. I'm not too sure.
I mean, if you had to guess, roughly,
Uh,
I'd probably say 20%.
no, more than that, dude.
Think so?
This
Divorce rate?
day and age, everybody's so easy to throw in the towel. The digital age, all that. I mean,
All the OnlyFans out there, get another-
man. Good God.
I have a career in a second, right?
Yeah. So I mean, I'll look it up.
Yeah,
Hold
look
on.
that up. Let's bring that up. Let's see if we can get that number, and then we can just post it up on there
Yeah.
and
So,
check it out.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah. I'm thinking 20.
So facts on divorce. We have. Let's take a look. So if we look right here, according to the Centers of Disease. Okay, this is CDC. Jesus.
Yeah.
There are 86 divorces every hour,
Wow.
compared to 230 marriages in an hour. God damn.
Yeah, that's not a good statistic for
No,
sure.
dude. Marriage and divorce in the U.S. are decreasing for a range of reasons. Estimated 41% of marriages will end in divorce. As many as 60% of second marriages won't make it. Third marriages end in divorce 73% of the time. The average lifespan of a first marriage before divorce is 8 years.
Wow.
Wow. Millennials are waiting to get married and stay married longer, driving the divorce rate lower. Hey, shout out to fucking millennials.
Millennials, you hear that, guys?
Yeah, but for some reason we get the most fucking shit out of everybody. As many as 64% of men and 52% of women will remarry after divorce. Ooh.
64
I
for
wonder.
men?
I wonder what
don't-
causes that. 64% of men will remarry. 52% of women will remarry. That's a big gap. 14% or 12%, dude.
Yeah.
Couples between ages 18 and 24 are most likely to split up.
That is nuts.
I got married when I was 19. So the average divorce rate in the United States right now is 42%.
That is wild. Yeah, I was thinking 20. I got beat out by 20%.
That's nuts, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, and then millennials staying together.
Yeah.
Banding together with
Seriously,
their
I
significant
didn't
other.
even know that.
Yeah, that's a good
And these
stat
same
for us.
millennial, yeah, it is because
I'll take that.
it is because everybody gives millennial generation shit.
They don't realize how analog we are and how close we are to the baby boomers because we're the last of a dying breed.
We are. We saw the cassette tapes.
Yeah.
We saw the CDs. We
Yeah.
saw. I mean, we didn't see the. I saw an 8-track.
Yeah.
My dad had an 8-track in his 280Z.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. I mean, we're in that gap where we know, like, the dinosaur age, if you will, and then we also know the new age because we got introduced to MySpace.
Yeah, all that YouTube. Yep.
You know, we
were
kind
the-
of see.
Yeah, we were kind of the first ones to use the internet. You know, that's how you got Jackass and all that. You know, that came from
Y2K and all that.
Y2K. That came from, you know, obviously being bored, but we were recording ourselves and putting it out there.
Yeah.
You know, obviously we didn't really take advantage of YouTube at that time as much as we could now.
I didn't start using YouTube until 2017.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's where we are. So we're more like our parents than we really think.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah.
We're more, I mean, all my structure came from my dad. I wasn't in the military. I just lived that military life so much because of my dad.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm wake up, do your bed, you know, brush your
Which
teeth.
is, I'm the complete opposite. My dad forbidded the military.
Yeah. Yeah. My dad didn't want us to do it. My dad didn't even want my brother to do it. He wanted him, hey, let's go. You don't have to do that. Because they think they did it so we don't
didn't have to.
to.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
I mean, I have my days wishing that I wasn't a civilian, and I wish I would have joined. But,
It does give you a different perspective, like on politics and budget and foreign policy and a lot of different things, but it more so sacrifice than anything.
you get more perks, I think. You get more loans, student loans, $1 down. You get more things that you can utilize as
For
a
what
vet.
we have to sacrifice majority of the time, I don't think we get enough.
Really.
I'm being serious.
Yeah, time is, you know, it's
I'm
really
being
hard to
serious.
get that back.
Yeah.
And then how many military couples going through divorce?
Oh,
How many
man.
military wives cheat on their husbands when they're away of active duty?
Dude, you have no idea.
ton, right? I can only imagine.
I don't even want to. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah, and then think about those guys. You know, they're mentally just gone at that point because their whole family is gone.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just.
I wouldn't make it through the military if I don't have my kids or my wife.
It would be mentally unstable.
Because like what we talked about on our last podcast, they're what pull me out.
yeah, I mean, I would
Of
lose
the
my
deal.
mind now, and I'm a civilian.
Like, you know what I talked to you about today when I got home?
Yeah.
And I kind of vented to you a little bit before we started the podcast. The only reason why I'm able to get out of that is because of my wife and my kids. They distract me from
Yeah,
the bullshit, dude.
that you deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. I mean, I love the military, don't get me wrong, but again, it's still ran by human beings. You know? I mean, what do you think what is the number one cause of divorce?
I mean, for me, I would think money. Thinking right off the top of my head, I would say money. That would be my heart. Because if you have money, I feel like you don't have anything to bicker about. And you guys are just taking vacations and you're having that financial freedom, which brings you closer because you're experiencing things better, you know, on a different mindset instead of struggling, paying your bills from a day-to-day basis. Because that's got to be draining, man. I feel that personally on a day-to-day basis, you know. And then if I need to make more money, I'm gone all the time. I'm not home. She's home alone with the kids, you know. I come back late. Then she's kind of mad. Dinner's cold. I didn't eat with them. It's just being present. That's got to be draining too. And then if you see your bank account, you're not going to want to chill on the couch and watch a movie with her. You're going to want to make some more money, right?
I mean, I agree. I know back in the day, a lot of it was finances. But we live in a digital age where so many people can make money different ways. YouTube, podcasts. But we live in the gig economy. You got Uber, you got Uber Eats.
That's
You
true.
got all these different. What is it? There's a bunch of things like like there's so many different things. You got what's the one that you buy your Instacart?
Oh, yeah, Instacart.
You got so many different things. Even Amazon has a thing where you can download an app, get vetted, and you can go pick up deliveries and drop off
seen that.
Amazon boxes.
Yeah. And now you're part of the company. You can even buy shares on Amazon too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nuts. So
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think it's finances anymore, dude.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, it's I'm gonna look that shit up.
Yeah.
dude.
I mean, infidelity. That could be a good
that
one.
could be a big
you
one.
know, and again, that's being away. That's not being up there, you know, being present for your wife, and then she looks for it in in other areas.
Yeah. So we got pulled up right now. So according to Forbes Advisor 2024 survey found lack of commitment is the most common reason for divorce, cited by 75% of individuals and couples. Other common reasons include incompatibility. 31% of couples cited incompatibility as the reason for their divorce.
It's such a cop out.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I want a divorce. Why? We're incompatible.
That's not doing the work.
How long did you guys date for?
3 months.
Then you got the ones that dated like 3 years. Then why were you with me for fucking 3 years? Fucking dipshit.
There's people that get married and don't even live with each other first before they get married. That's wild.
Yeah, dude. Because
got it.
I have a story on that one. Because me and my wife, we weren't. I knew I wanted to marry my wife, but they said that I had to marry my wife. I'm just gonna leave
You
it
saying
at
a
that.
prearranged marriage? Is that what
No,
you're
no, because I got my wife pregnant.
Oh,
You know.
from the Latino community,
Exactly.
I could see that.
Infidelity. 34% of marriages
see
among
that up
survey
there.
respondents ended due to an affair.
And that's just being away, man. Not being present, not being there.
And I bet you, out of that 34%,
There's like
80% of that is military.
really.
Yeah.
Military's that bad?
Wives.
But they were bored at home all day, man. Can you
Yeah.
imagine that? Your significant other's out.
Okay, money issues. It's estimated that financial problems contribute to 20 to 40% of all divorces. So you were right.
I'm pretty close. Yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
close. Other reasons for divorce include parenting issues, religion, opposing values or morals.
That's a
You
big
think
one.
that would be vetted before you even decide to fucking marry her
Yeah.
or him?
That would be a big talking point before I marry you.
Yeah. What the fuck?
I would need to know.
Alcohol and substance, that's a big
That's
one
a big
because
one,
that could
too.
be developed over time in stress and loneliness or
Definitely.
depression.
Yep.
That I could see why that's a big one, but also I can see how you can work around that and work through it together.
Yeah.
Gambling. I'm not a gambler.
I am.
Steven.
That is a big one for me. Just
Unrealistic marital expectations. Oh, we need to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of men have expectations. A lot of women have expectations. And that is a big issue.
I can see
Okay.
that definitely.
Lack of quality in that's a big one. Or no, excuse me, not quality, equality. My bad. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but that is equality. Lack of equality in the relationship. Lack of preparation for marriage.
marriage.
And then
Abuse.
abuse. Damn, dude. Okay.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right,
man.
ladies and gentlemen, those are the number one causes of freaking divorce. Good Lord.
I mean, you would know your significant other's values and morals before you get with them, right? We established that.
What the
Yeah,
what are you thinking? Like, I'm not even going to talk on morals and values. I could talk about politics, okay, all day long, why that can be something that's different.
You're
But morals and values are
okay. I see what you're
totally different.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you're a Democrat and I get it, whatever, I could work through that. But if your morals are different from mine, like I feel like religion is a big one.
Religion is a
If
big
you
one.
don't believe in God, I don't know if I can make that work because I believe in God and I just would want the same values on that for sure. Because
So you're talking about more of spiritual expectations.
yes, connection, me having that flow with my wife.
That
is
has to
important,
be a big one.
right.
Because, for instance, if a guy was not raised in the church, that woman who was raised in the church may have a lot of questions or a lot of concerns throughout their relationship, which should still be answered throughout the dating phase and get to knowing you phase before you make that commitment.
Yeah.
But I think that if you do jump into that relationship and sometimes that guy may be blowing smoke up the female's ass or vice versa, it's going to create issues because and the biggest thing I see it as is because where's your foundation?
Yeah.
How are you going to raise your kids? What is that foundation you are going to raise your family at? Because when you are dating, what is the end goal? What's the purpose?
Yeah.
There's no purpose of dating if you don't, or even having some level of commitment to that other person. The end all be all is to get married and raise a family and die to get old together.
Yeah. Yeah, not live alone.
You get what I'm saying? So when you go into that dating world, I didn't get a chance to date very much. And I mean, you know, and me and how I was in high school, we were
Yeah.
very similar.
Yeah.
When I met my wife, I didn't really date very much because in high school, all we did was party.
Yeah.
We got that out of our system very early.
Yeah.
But I always wanted something else.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And then when I found my wife, she was in the church and they introduced me to the church. Granted, it wasn't the greatest experience initially, but I believed in God. I knew He was there, but I didn't understand the spiritual connection. I had my own understanding of it, which I actually got affirmed later that I was right. You
Yeah.
know, through experience and
Reconnected
going
with it.
exactly, and through different experiences in life and different churches, different pastors, and everything,
Yeah.
that I was right. But when it came to my wife, I knew I wanted something else, and she knew that too. So even though I wasn't raised in the church,
Yeah.
even though I wasn't a devout Christian at the time, my wife knew I had a baseline that I believed and feared God.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
You were gravitating towards it,
Exactly.
and you needed it,
Exactly.
and your wife helped you, go to that path.
Exactly.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, definitely. What other situations do you think could, maybe destroy a marriage, or is it key to save a marriage? You would think, other than morals and point of views, what about keeping your identity as a person in the relationship? Losing yourself, just becoming dad or just becoming mom. Is it key to have that? Let's go out on a vacation with just us two and rekindle our love. We have to rekindle our spark to make the household work. Because if we don't love each other, then it's we're walking on eggshells, and then we're always pissed off at each other, right? We got to make sure we love each other before that situation happens. And I still struggle with that. Me and my wife get back on track with it. It might be just a movie here, or we hang out, go to the drive-in. Little things like that to make that look like a little summer date. It's always good to do that.
I agree. So what is your exact question at the moment?
I would say does the
How long?
marriage,
How long have you been married?
I technically not married. I'm engaged, and I've been engaged for 5 years.
But you've been committed to that person for over 5 years.
Oh yeah, I've been committed to my future wife. I would say about like 5 years or 10 years. 10 years.
Okay.
So it was like 3 years before Esteban.
But
So, yeah,
you
10
had that
years.
commitment though.
Yes, we were dating. We were
Okay.
dating. Then we planned our first child. Now our child's 7. Now we have another child that is 2.
Okay. That the reason why I want people to understand that.
Yeah.
All right. Because I mean, if you really think about it, in my personal opinion, marriage is just a fucking piece of paper, dude.
Yes.
It just makes it legal to where, like, if there is a hiccup in the marriage and one person decides to leave, who gets what?
And you can't let that person be like broke or whatever.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but now, I believe in the state of California, it doesn't matter. There's cohabitants. I forgot the law. Don't quote me on it. I'm not even going to pull it up because I don't care. Because I think it's stupid. Because I don't think marriages should end in divorce. I think it's a lack of, I mean, unless there's like extreme infidelity and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
dude,
I just think
the
you
reason
can't
why-
lose yourself
you can't. Okay, and
because that makes you look for the infidelitiness of the relationship. Because then now you're trying to get
damn,
that.
you're hitting a sensitive fucking topic.
You're trying to get that through other people, right?
Yeah.
And that's where that starts. So if we make sure we can keep our identities together and build that together, we will be able to make our relationship stronger. And that way we don't lose our marriages or our relationships that we started a family with.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, the emotional. There's a lot of things that tie to spiritual and emotional identities.
Yeah.
Right. But also, the most importantly is that connection,
Yeah.
and I think communication is a big part of that.
Yeah.
I am far from perfect. You asked about going on like dates and all that. I think it has to your finances have to align, and
To be able to do
your
those
schedule has to align to be able to do those things.
Yeah.
And your wife, your baby mama, whatever your significant other, your partner, whatever you want to call them, you guys have to be on the same page. And it's very hard because there's needs.
Yeah.
And sometimes I know me, I can be very rough when I respond to certain things that my wife wants or needs. So it was like I told you, and it took me very long time to learn that it was God, husband, father.
Yeah.
And prior to this last year and a half, maybe it was always father, God, husband. You know,
That's
and
how yeah. Yep.
and
You can get
that
lost
is
in it.
very hard for certain people to get and understand and try to break it, especially as men, because we are protectors, we are providers, we are that.
Yeah.
And if you don't think you are, you're a moron. And if you're not, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Number one. Number two is that you have to have that conversation. There has to be that open dialogue between you and your partner. My wife has no fear of telling me when I am fucking up, which I appreciate because it puts me back on a path because she knows my end all be all is to make sure my family's happy. Does it hurt sometimes that I can't do the things that I want or that I need to do? Yeah, but ultimately at the end of the day, when I come home and all my kids are happy and my wife is happy, I'm happy.
Yeah.
You know, and I think there has to be a lot of selflessness on both sides. And don't look at it as compromise. Look at it as a collaboration
Yeah.
with your partner and your goals in
Absolutely.
life.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Don't look like when people say compromise, somebody's giving up something, right?
Yeah.
Now, when you look at it as far as collaboration, you both have the same train of thought, and same um, path
Yeah.
to achieve the same goal.
Yeah. You guys are gaining something because you're
Exactly.
collaborating. Yeah.
You're collaborating, right?
Yeah.
So stop looking at it as compromising and
Yes.
start looking at it as collaboration.
Isn't words such a strong, words can mean so many different things the way you say them.
Dude, words have so much power.
Yeah, so much power and I don't want to say spells, but you could say things that could be negative towards that. And you don't want to be like that. You just
Yeah.
want to be positive.
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing I think that's one of the biggest things when it comes to the spiritual and emotional connection.
Yeah.
It's hard on both sides. It's hard on both sides. And the reason why I say that, because me and my wife, we had our struggles,
Yeah.
because women are very emotional creatures,
Yeah.
extremely. But to say that men aren't, you're fucking lying,
Yeah.
because we both are.
Yeah.
Right? It's just I think with men we know how to separate a logic sometimes, not all the time, because there's times where I in a heartbeat I'm reacting on my emotions, and that's where I have to take a step back and breathe
Yeah.
and use my logic.
I just think it's so easy for these guys to throw in the towel and then, I can find another woman to do exactly what you do better. Instead of working it out, putting your heels in the sand and looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, why isn't this working out? Is it me? Is it something that I'm doing wrong? Or is it something that we're both not communicating?
Exactly. And that's very key when it comes to the emotional part and
Yeah.
communicating part, right? Because you have to recognize when one of the other person is reacting on emotion.
Yeah.
Right? And then if one can still convey what their thought process is, even in that emotion, you got to give that person the credit.
Yeah.
Okay? Sometimes you got to bite the bullet
You gotta be
and say you
realistic.
were wrong.
Yes. Yes.
And then you also got to put yourself in their shoes.
Yes.
Okay? I had to do that today. Okay? Even though my points were valid, okay, I still had to bite the bullet and say, you know what? It is what it is. I'm wrong. It does not matter. And the reason being is because if her emotional connection and her want is that strong,
Something's going on.
no, it's not. It's not necessarily something. Well, something is
Well,
going
I mean
wrong.
that you need to face and see what's if it's not being where
Exactly.
She wants
It just means it's that important to her.
Yeah, which means you need to prioritize it
Exactly.
and make it a main.
And as
issue.
men,
yeah,
sometimes we can't read between the fucking line.
yeah, I'm guilty of that. For
You
sure.
know, but also on the other end of that, women, okay, sometimes guys don't want to read between the fucking line.
Yeah.
Tell us what you want. And because at the end of the day, all I care is about is your fucking happiness.
Yeah.
Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
No, for sure. Yeah, because you don't want to beat around the bush. You want to take whatever issue or topic is going on and bring it to the table and fix it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because somebody could be having the shittiest time at work. Somebody could be having the shittiest time in their life. It doesn't matter what the case is. They may just want to enjoy their peace with you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think millennials did a good job about that with that statistic that we see.
Yeah, because millennials not having the millennials driving down to the divorce rate says a lot, dude.
Right,
I'm
right.
actually proud to be a fucking millennial right now.
Yeah.
You know, that means that we are. I will tell you this. That means that our parents did something right when it came through. When it comes to sticking shit out
Yeah.
and making a commitment, you don't fucking back out on it.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
when it's the hardest fucking time of your life. I need to stop using the F word so much. But when it's the hardest time of your life, you don't quit.
Yeah. Yep.
Because through marriage, through emotional, spiritual life changes, the gamut what comes with marriage,
But
you're
it-
gonna want to quit.
But isn't that marriage? It's just not giving up, not quitting, taking day by day.
Yeah.
If it's something that happened, there's something that we can fix tomorrow.
I mean, with life change, I mean, there could be some crazy ass life changes, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. And adapting to that as a couple, as a relationship, as a marriage. You got to adapt to the life changing, things that happen throughout your life because you're not going to be perfect. Everything's going to happen. It's going to fall off negative. You have to expect that. When things are going good, you got to expect 3 things to happen negatively. Because you're like, wow, babe, we just got paid a lot of, we're doing pretty good this month. Something's going to happen. My tire's going to have a flat. Something's going to happen in these next couple weeks. Because that's why I tell her, my palms are itchy. That means I'm going to get some work soon. And then once that happens and I do get paid out,
That's funny you mentioned that because like the crickets, like me and my wife are very big on the crickets that happen, like come in here, and we don't let the kids kill them because that means money.
Yeah.
Like,
That
that's
is
a
true.
big-
It is.
it's
And
a-
that's an old wise tale that
It
people don't
is.
know
A
about.
lot of people don't know about it. So like when I started seeing crickets, I'm like, oh, okay, what's coming? What's coming? What's
something
coming?
big,
Something big. But I mean, a big one, and I know, and it's because me and my wife has changed. We've faced them a lot being in the military. Is life changes. I know how we have handled them. I know that in the previous podcast, and we haven't got into it, but you told me that you were sleeping. You had a kid and you were sleeping on the floor.
Yeah, my wife was pregnant. Our AC was broken. She was sweating. She was on the floor, man. Pregnant with my firstborn. It was a tough time. We didn't have nowhere to live. Unfortunately, we had a problem with my mom's old, boyfriend that moved in that didn't like what we were doing because we weren't married and we were having a kid. And he turned out to be a phony because he thought he was Christian Mingle and all that, but he wasn't. I'm just saying. Sorry, Mom. If you're watching this, shout out to you and your choices. Amazing. Anyways, but that all happened, so that trickled me effect.
Hold on. You said Christian Mingle.
Look, when people, this goes back to, in relationships, if you're pretending to be a Christian, guys, if you're pretending to be something you're not, it's going to be found out.
Oh, 100%.
Regardless of what you're pretending to be, it's going to be as simple. We're going to go through all these systems and we're going to find it. We're going to find out. So don't be something that you're not. Don't pretend to be something that you're not even close or even in the solar system of being. You got to be up front. That's the best way to be in a marriage. I'm going to tell you how I am. You're going to tell me how you are. I have to respect what you're coming to the relationship with, and you have to respect what I'm coming to the relationship with. and that's it. If I'm pretending to be a Christian and I'm really a Catholic, you're gonna find out about it because I'm not.
Yeah.
Right. It's just that simple.
Hey, man, Catholic churches is a workout. By the way, I'm just saying.
I mean, let's just say this guy was just trying to pawn everything that I owned because he kicked me out of the house. It was a big deal, bro, when that happened.
So how did you and your I mean everybody knows her name already, but how did Vanessa and you handle that?
You know, I wasn't getting paid really well, so
That's all- dude,
I'm
that's
lucky I found a
so
little
random.
house that we could stay in. You know, at the time we couldn't go back to her mom's. You know, they were doing their thing.
Were they still in those apartments on our
Oh no, they were in Paris.
Oh,
They were
okay.
in Paris, but I had nothing. I found that room. It was a room. We had a roommate. She was another girl. She was cool. But the fucking AC broke that day, and we're like, man, I gotta get us out of here. She was pregnant. She was pissed. She was on the ground.
Oh, she has every right to be.
Yeah, exactly. It was a tough time in our relationship, and I was like, babe,
Yeah.
it's gonna get better. Stay with me. I promise you, I'm gonna get to the level where I promised you to be at. You know, and luckily
And for her
she-
to have that faith in you, dude, it's having the faith in your man, and I know that, and I know that feeling because I alluded to it in previous podcasts, but I mean, it says a lot for a woman to stick through that, man.
Yeah, man. Definitely. And now, we live in a 4-bedroom house, and luckily we have AC and it hasn't broke on us. And
Right.
we're living good, man. And I can't complain. Obviously, I could do the dishes and laundry more, but
Yeah.
it's crazy to see where I came from and how far it happened. And no one gives you anything, man. No one's going to serve it to you on a platter, and you're expecting to be successful.
So how did you and Vanessa deal with it as far as the communication thing, and because I know both of you guys aren't very religious or very spiritual. I know you guys are spiritual.
I wasn't.
There's a
She
difference.
was. She grew
She's
up in the
very
church.
spiritual.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, she
So
grew up in the church.
how would you guys? I mean, because I'm sure you had nights like I did, dude, where I was barely being able to make fucking top ramen.
Yes.
Yeah, like how
I did a
did you
lot.
guys get through that? And it's because the reason why I say that is because so many relationships can end just because of that struggle.
Once we got kicked out of my mom's, I low-key thought she was gonna leave and just say, you know what, come back to me when you have things together. I'm moving back with my parents. And she has every right to do that. She's pregnant. She shouldn't be out here, God-forsaken floor that has fucking cockroaches. Like, she had every right to say, you know what, come back to me when you have money and you figure it out. I'll have your son over here. But she didn't, and she was a hardworking, woman. That's what gravitated me towards her, because she had 4 jobs, 3 jobs when she was working. So I knew she was a hard worker. Everybody I dated before that, they weren't really a hard worker like that. I was giving them money, and we were doing that. So when I met her and I seen that, I automatically knew, wow, she's different. That's
mindset.
different mindset, and that helps me build stuff in a relationship, and that's why I loved her. And once she did help, she wasn't negative in that time, which she had every right to be because she was pregnant. She didn't make it about her, which was amazing. And that's what I think helped me. Because she helped me study, she helped me prepare, she helped me get to those levels that I need to get to be able to be paid, to be able to live in California, So that's why I love her, man. And it was a tough time, and she always makes me keep my faith. Even when I'm like, man, look what this has gotten me. All these decisions that I've made, and then now I'm here, and I'm like, man, I almost feel like giving up. But she's always that person that says, keep trying, keep doing it. Don't think of it as a negative thing. Be positive. And that's why I love her.
What about the positive life changes though? Because that can be a hiccup in the marriage too. You can be on such a upward ascending trajectory where it
Makes you complacent.
well, not only that, but also ungrateful.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I could see that. Definitely, man. Yeah, that is true. You could be very ungrateful of what situations that, arise, but man, I've never experienced that in my relationship because we've came such a long way that we treasure things that what we have now. Especially the things that we have to save up for and that we plan for, like vacations and going to see our friends out of state. We traveled a lot as a family when Esteban was just, becoming, like 4 or 5. So we did a lot of road trips. We went to see her family in New Mexico. We went to Utah. We went to go to Vegas kind of religiously a little bit. But I don't. Vanessa's very, very grateful for everything that we got, and so I am, and so am I, because I'm grateful that I have her. So I don't think that's an issue for us. I think if you make it a selfish thing, it could be, because now you're thinking about yourself instead of your family.
Yeah, because what I mean by that is because have you ever? This hasn't happened to me all the time, but have you ever felt like what you have done is not enough?
All the time.
No, I'm
still
not talking about on your own.
Oh,
not
you mean
your
from the people
own.
that you love.
Yes.
That they think like, oh, well, that's nice, but no, it's not.
Well,
good enough.
not only. I mean, they
Like, are
do
you-
it inherently by certain things that they say, by certain actions that they do.
All the
Like,
time. Mine's more like cleaning the backyard. Like I just cleaned the backyard. Like, oh well, you could have pulled this weave and it would look better this way. I'm like, get the fucking lawnmower, get the weed whacker, do it yourself. You know, I'm close to there. But yeah, I sometimes, yes, I do. They get like that. I mean, just like your kids, right? They want, oh, dad, I want to play on the internet. You know, like, no, you don't even play that thing that much.
yeah, and the reason why I say that is because there's good life changes and then there's bad life changes. But even within those good life changes, there's certain characteristics and attributes of individuals that change. So that's an all-encompassing life change.
That is true.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I, just as much as you, I struggled.
Yeah.
And then to get where we are now, it's just like sometimes it's like, not just from my wife. I mean, sometimes, not all the time. My wife is always grateful for everything. But with some of my kids, they have gotten older and they have forgot where they freaking came from sometimes. And it's just like, sometimes I feel like, damn, it's not enough.
You know,
Like what more do I gotta do?
You know, I felt like my dad felt like that with me and my brother. And one way he helped us is by making us pay for something that we wanted. So if we wanted, like, I like for my turntables, for instance, I saved up enough to get one turntable. He bought me my mixer and the other turntable.
Yeah.
So I feel like that helped me structure my money, my finances.
Because emotionally that can,
and I
that
still
can-
have those.
That can tear a guy apart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Especially if you're not grateful for what you're doing and you're working extremely hard. You come home at 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, and they're like, oh, okay, well, I need you to do this, this, and this. Instead of just saying, oh, hey, babe, how was work? You know, I know you're tired. You know, relax, get some water, and then I have a couple things for you, if that's okay. You know, point of view is everything in a relationship, man. The way you deliver things is huge. You can say something that you want them to do, but say it in a nice way and maybe polite way. And maybe if they don't listen to you a couple times, then you can get negative with it. But if you just repeat it nice and be a human being and don't be so downgrading for it, your task will get done. And that's what I explained to my wife, because she's a little bit towards that too. She gets a little angry about things because she'll tell me it like 5 times. But I'm so like zoned in on things sometimes that I don't hear her. You know?
No,
You know, and then I forget. I have the worst memory, Max. I fucking have to write sticky notes, bro, to remember. Worst memory. If I don't say it like 20 times,
I have to write it down too.
I'm
I have to
terrible.
write it and say it and give myself a reminder inside my phone. I have to do all kinds of crap.
Yeah.
But I mean, with the life changing aspect of it, I mean, because it goes both ways, and from all the life changes that I've currently have gone through and I'm consistently going through, I'm trying to grow, I'm trying to get better, but it's not because of my own ego. It's because I want to level up my family,
Yeah, you want more for your family.
right? And with those life changes, sometimes certain expectations on both sides need to be communicated.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
So
And I think
marriage is hard, dude.
it's
It's
important.
hard, and we're not gonna cover this all in one podcast.
Yeah.
It's just not gonna happen. But I think that a big part of it is that you have to be agile. You have to be able to kind of move with it. More so on the man side,
Yeah.
but also on the woman side, and communication is a big part of that.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, because that guy is so gung ho on trying to get that next life change or next goal, or whatever the case may be, a lot of freaking fights happen, man.
Yeah.
And it's because of lack of attention, lack of quality time, and all that stuff. Like we talked about last time, because
Yeah.
like work-life balance it's
Yeah.
rough.
Yeah.
And if you want to know what our thoughts are, check out the last
Go ahead and check
podcast.
that out,
I think that was a very good one. It's
yeah, it's hard to change career paths to level up your family when you're midway through those responsibilities that you take on when you have financial responsibilities. So you can't just up and change to level up your family. Even though you can do it in baby steps, but it's important to support your partner on growth on that. So if you're leveling up, it's very important to stand behind your significant other to help them grow to that next level, because we need our wives and our wives need our husbands to help us get to that next level. And we need each other. And that's when friends and other families also help you with those too. It doesn't just have to be an in-house thing, but it starts with our families. And I'm not perfect. I do things that I shouldn't do. But it's always good to have that bond with your wife.
Yeah, I mean, and supporting each other in growth is a very big one, and I have messed this up time and time again with my wife,
We all have.
and I think it's very hard. She supports me in a lot of different things. She'll also tell me when I'm being stupid or whatever, and I appreciate it, because I have big aspirations, I have big dreams, and I feel that because of how many times I freaking I should have died throughout my life,
Yeah.
that God wants me here for a reason. And when you've experienced that, it can be a very emotional mental health issue for a guy. Like, I've gone through the ringer with it. But with the supporting in growth, it's very key, because if you're not allowing your significant other, your partner, to grow, then what's the point of being with him?
Yeah.
The goal is not to be stagnant. The goal isn't to be settled.
Yeah.
The goal is, we have kids.
Yeah.
We want to set the example. I never want my kids to give up.
Yeah.
I want my kids to keep striving to get better, be better, and have what they want. Why? Because that's my legacy. My legacy isn't going to be I'm a millionaire or anything like that. My legacy is going to be my kids will never quit. My kids will never give up.
Yeah.
They will never settle. They're always going to want more in a healthy way,
Yeah.
right? To leave the legacy behind them, to keep leveling up the Spader name.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Is to instill them a work ethic. That's my legacy.
Yeah.
I know I'm not going to be a millionaire,
Yeah.
but I also know that my kids are they've had a better relationship with me than I did with my parents.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say better. I would say healthier. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I want my son to even do better than I've done with him.
Yeah.
That's my legacy. And if you're not supporting your significant other in growth where it comes to career, there has to be a balance with the career. There has to be. If you get to that point where you've made that next milestone, take some time, chill out a little bit before you try to hit that next milestone.
Yeah.
If your partner has supported you, through your first milestone, and you're that guy or girl, and you're like, okay, the next one.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one. Okay, the next one. You're never going to have time for your partner,
Yeah.
your wife, your spouse, your husband. Okay? You're literally going to isolate your partner into a point where all you give a shit about is your career. That's your legacy?
Yeah. That's yeah.
You get what I'm saying? For me, my legacy is my kids. When I grow old, the military is going to keep going.
Yeah.
My family and me, I'm not.
Yeah.
I want to be a grandpa where I sit back and I have my grandkids and I have my son, my daughter, and their grandkids and my great grandkids where they look back and be like, hey, he started this,
Yeah.
you know? And that's grandpa.
Yeah.
That's great grandpa.
Yep.
He was an amazing man. This, that, and the other. He was a great grandfather. He was a great dad. You know, the gamut.
Yep.
Because they're not going to talk about my military career.
Yeah.
They're not going to talk about my awards. They're not going to talk about anything. They're going to talk about how I was as a dad,
Yeah.
how I was as a husband.
Yeah.
You know, does that make
Yeah.
sense?
No, absolutely. Yeah. Don't make a focus of, you know, being driven in the wrong direction. I mean, it's good to have that financial, you know, cushion, but definitely work as hard as you do for your career as for your family, for sure.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
And
If not more.
I
If
just
not
wanted
more.
to say that because there's nothing wrong with trying to get your next goal. There's nothing wrong
Yeah.
with trying to get that next milestone. But if you don't take a breather
Yeah.
and say thank you to those who did support you through growth,
Yeah.
there's going to be a problem.
Not only that, you might lose them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because then it seems like they're second to whatever you're focusing on.
Yeah. Because I jacked up when I was an iron worker. I went through iron worker competition. My wife didn't understand it at the time because we were very young in our marriage. Like, hey, I'm gonna go to the I'm gonna go to the apprenticeship school and I'm gonna practice welding. Well, you don't weld as a rod buster. Yeah, I know, but it's in the iron worker competition. I need to learn. Then I was like, hey, I'm gonna get my cert.
Yeah.
Hey, now I took second in the state of California. I'm gonna go compete nationally. And I was gone for a week and I went to Canada and competed.
Yeah.
She didn't understand it, but at the end result was that I did so well. I journeyed out a whole 2 years early.
Yeah.
You know, it was to get more food, more money on my plate.
Yeah.
I thought I conveyed it to her, but maybe I didn't do a good job at it. But we would butt heads a little bit because she was still trying to go to school and I was trying to do this.
Yeah.
Because what I did is what put food on the table. You know, and I think there was a lack of communication on both our parts of, you know, hey, I'm doing this to level us up,
Yeah.
you know. And after I did that, the next goal was, hey, I need to do all this so I could become a foreman.
Yeah.
And then, hey, I just became a foreman. Now I want to be this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not just a deck foreman. I want to be a general foreman.
Yeah.
Like, it was just non-fucking
That's
stop.
just a continuous cycle of consumerism. You know?
Exactly.
Like we make other people's dreams come true. And
Yeah.
that's where I'm at in my life. I want to make my dream come true. That's what I'm kind of tired of doing what I do. And I want to do something else. But
I mean, that's why we started this.
that's why we started this. Yeah. You know, another issue is a lot of our friends are in multiple relationships in their life. You know, like why is it so easy to be selfish, you know, than to stay with your family? I know we can't really relate to that because we are where we are with our families. You know, I would love to get someone else's perspective because you don't want a toxic home. You don't want to be arguing in front of the kids. You don't want it to be angry because then your kids are going to see that. And they're going to see that that's what love is.
I think it's a lack of self-identity.
Okay. I can see that. And self-worth.
Yeah.
I mean, some people
But that's all encompassing. Your identity, your self-worth,
Yeah, that's
you know.
true. I just think it's being selfish, man.
I lost my identity.
Yeah.
I didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
I mean, I could elaborate if you want me to, but I mean,
Did you lose it in work or was it just like in the household?
all of it. And it was when I was an iron worker.
I feel like I lose myself in work because when I come home, I want to unload and not want to do anything. And then that makes me not present. And then my wife's mad at me because I'm not doing the things I need to do.
I still get that today. I mean, that's just habitual habits and bad habits that we have as men, you know, and
Yeah.
lack of communication. Like, I got to fix a drawer in my wife's room. I got to fix, there's some things I got to fix around the house, but at the same time, my wife sees everything that I'm trying to do. And she knows the next time I have a couple of days off of leave, like, shit's going to get done.
Yeah.
You know, but when it comes to identity, it's hard. You have to really know what type of man you want to be and who you want to be, even more so when you have kids. and when you're married.
Yeah.
And you can
That's so hard though.
and you can lose your identity, dude, just because of people you work around. I did. I became a very bitter and pissed off person when I was an iron worker.
Yeah. No fun to be around. Oh.
And it was because I let too many people in my marriage.
Oh, and then everybody's talking, having their point of view on it.
Mm-hmm. And then
Yeah.
I saw certain people, you are, like I said, dude, you are who you surround yourself with, you know? And I started doing things like, not like alcohol or drugs or anything like that. It was just more so the thought process and how I navigated certain problem sets that were going on in my life wasn't normally how I would want to handle them.
Yeah.
I let outside influence dictate my decisions a lot of the time. And it affected who I wanted to be at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And you can lose your identity by doing that. You can literally take a step back and like a 50,000 foot view and look at what you're doing, the decisions that you have made, and go, what the fuck?
What happened to me the last 10 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's that circle. That's that vicious circle of employment. And you lose track of days, dude. I sure do.
Yeah.
I'm on, what is this, Wednesday? Or it's fucking Thursday? Yeah. It happens to all of us. You know, the more you work, the more you get involved in the actual life, the real world, the more and more you lose yourself. You know, you lose that kid that had that dream that we wanted to be. You know, because we're in a vicious cycle, man. Paycheck, sleep, work. You know, maybe have fun with the kids one weekend if you aren't working weekends. You know, so it's like, it's just tough, man. Definitely keeping your identity, keeping who you are, and what you bring to your family is very important, man.
It is, and especially in a marriage, man. And
Yeah.
when I lost myself, I mean, it takes a lot. I think me getting hurt is what helped me because I wasn't able to work. You know, going through the treatment I had to go through my back, and you know, that was a miracle in itself that I was able just to be able to get back in the military and that I healed from my back injuries and the shit that was going on with my back.
Yeah, your back is solid.
Now it is.
No, I mean, and yeah, but I mean, like when I tried
Oh,
that
yeah.
one time, oh my God.
A lot of people don't believe me, dude. Like, you should see when a chiropractor tries to crack my back.
It's like steel, bro.
Yeah.
Like, even Jacob was like, what the fuck? He thought I was playing.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you pick this man up real quick and feel this guy.
Yeah,
Solid.
it's a good thing and a bad thing. Internally, I'm glad that I'm better.
Yeah, I'm
The
glad- I'm
muscle
glad
around
about
it
you.
is, ooh. But it made me self-reflect a lot and realize that I am not being the man that I want to be. You know?
Yeah.
And the sad part is my wife was trying to tell me,
Yeah.
and I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And that's all marriage comes down to.
Yeah.
If you really want to get down to it, you want an answer. Well, how do you keep a marriage going?
Yeah.
You have to give a shit.
Yeah. But there's times where you're so mad that you're like, fuck it.
But on both sides, you have to give a shit.
Yeah. You got to try. You got to work.
You have to give a shit enough to understand your husband's perspective. You have to understand what your man is going through. You have to understand when he is talking to you and expressing certain emotions to you and understand where he's coming from.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Then why is it so easy to have, you know, you see these guys with like 6 baby mamas and, you know, they're not either married twice or something like that. You know, it's so easy. There's a lot of them out there, man.
There's a shit ton.
There's a ton of them, like married 6 times. I'm like, dude, I would probably give up on the third one. Like, maybe it's not for me. Or maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I got to look at myself and like,
I was going to say that. Like, you have to take a step back and be like, what the fuck am I doing wrong?
Yeah, 'cause-
the only the common denominator in that equation is you.
it's you. Because you have no problem with finding someone.
Yeah.
It's
you have a
about
fucked up time trying to keep it.
yes. There's something in between that honeymoon stage and, oh shit, we're in a relationship.
A lot of
stage.
people say correlation doesn't equal causation, but in that equation, I'm sorry, it does. Like, you're correlating with every single one of those marriages. The only thing coming in that one is you, buddy.
Yeah, there's definitely some self-reflecting on that point.
But there's also some guys that just say, no, I'm not getting married. I don't want a marriage. I don't give a shit, but I want kids.
Yeah, but then you're paying child support.
And you have somebody else raising your kids.
Yeah, it's no fun.
I have too much ego to let another motherfucker raise my kids.
I couldn't do it either. I couldn't even raise another person's kid, bro.
No
It'd be
way.
really tough for me. I would have to know that person
No, there's
if
no
I
way.
did it. You know,
There's no way.
They have to be like, I don't want to say related, but I gotta have some type of, like, love.
Nope. Nope.
I'm pretty sure if your
Nope.
sister had a kid, or you
Oh.
taking your kid in, you're taking their kid in. Your sibling's kid,
Yeah.
you're taking them in.
Don't
Shut
go
the
down-
hell
Don't
up.
go that out. Yeah. I'm just gonna tell you that right now.
All right, well,
Mom, I love you. I'm just saying, you already know. You know why.
Well, I mean, marriage is a hard thing. It's a very hard situation to have longevity in. You must work at it. It must be continuous work ethic on it.
That's what it is. It's just continuous.
And it never ends until you die.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like I mentioned in the last podcast too, is that you grow together.
Yeah. And you're not going to have, that at one time you're going to have to say goodbye to that person, right? At what time?
No, I'm dying with my wife like the Notebook, bro. That's my favorite part of the whole movie.
Well, is that the end?
Yeah, they die together, holding each other.
That would be awesome, but let's be realistic.
That's the only thing I remember in
The
that
man
movie.
dies.
And then the meme. What the fuck do you want?
The man dies usually first in the relationship, right? Men,
The average life expectancy for a man is 75 years old.
yes. And women probably outlive men,
Yeah.
realistically, because
Yeah.
they make better decisions.
Yeah. Men are dumb.
Yeah.
I'm dumb.
I'm dumb too.
I mean, I've done a lot of stupid shit. I drink too many energy drinks.
So, yeah. So my buddy, he asked me this, one of my coworkers. So if you're watching this, dude, this is, probably one of the most important things is communication with your significant other.
Yeah.
You know?
If there's one thing, is communication on not just about how you're feeling or what pisses you off. It's communication across the whole entire board.
Yeah.
How your day went, how you're feeling,
Yeah.
what you want out of the marriage, what you want to do tomorrow, what the example that I gave earlier and how I had to apologize to my wife. Learn to fucking apologize.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a big one.
That's a big
Admit
one,
when
too.
you're wrong.
Yeah.
In the beginning of my marriage, I wouldn't apologize for shit.
A lot of men have trouble with that, man.
Yeah, who gives a fuck, dude?
Yeah. Well, everybody
It's
wants
not
to be
worth
right.
it.
Everybody wants to be right.
Yeah, but sometimes there's being right, but also trying to establish the fact that, hey, this is where my thought process was. So next time we don't end up in a fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? But also as a man, you need to convey that, hey, I'm not trying to be fucking right in this situation.
Yeah.
I'm trying to let you know where my thought process was.
Yeah.
So next time you may be able or encouraged to ask,
Yeah.
hey, where'd you come up with that?
Yeah.
Or something. If you're unsure about something, don't assume.
Yeah.
Assuming makes you an ass
That-
out of you
Yeah.
and me. Assume makes you an ass out of you and me.
That's good.
That's assuming. Okay? And that will really fuck up a whole entire string of communication.
Yeah.
Just assuming. And it will, I will tell you this, women, if you assume on your man, it will be the number one catalyst that pisses him off. Because
Yeah.
if you're, well, I would say on both sides. I wouldn't just say just for men. If you're assuming something, it makes the other person think, well, why don't I just fucking do this anyway? This is what
Yeah.
they think of me anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
Or you should know me. You should know me by now.
Yeah. And don't read between the lines.
Well, and don't do those things that make that person assume that.
That too.
Maybe take steps to get away from that if it's a
And that was
recurring fight.
And that's what my issue was today. I continued certain steps that correlated with the past
With the same result.
with the same result, but my thought process wasn't the same. And I was like, oh fuck, well my action said this, but
Yeah.
how am I going to fix, like,
Yeah.
how do I fix this? Like I literally had to take a step back and be like, okay, well, shit, I understand her point of view.
Yeah.
Like, I get why she was assuming this. She's not wrong.
Yeah.
But hey, I need you to take a breather real quick. I 100% agree with you, but, or however, my thought process was this, and this is why.
Yeah.
So please don't assume that,
Yeah.
because this was my thought process.
Yeah, and one of his big issues that he was arguing with his soon-to-be wife was he had a toddler and he got home from work and she wants to throw the baby right at him.
Don't do that either.
And I told him, I was like, well, I mean, you got to give her a break.
No.
You've been there all day.
No.
He said, no. I
No,
told him,
I'm going to disagree with you on that.
I told him, I was like, well, definitely shower first before you grab your kid.
Well, not only that. Number 2 is, hey, honey, how was your day?
Yeah. Yeah, talk. Yeah,
Talk.
communicate.
Let him vent a little bit.
Yeah.
Go take a shit, maybe. Go shower.
Yeah.
Maybe eat something, because only God knows how long he was in traffic.
Yeah. That's true.
I come from the
And he's
construction
digging.
world, dude.
That boy's digging too, you know?
I
So,
come from the construction world, okay? The last thing I want to do is be tossed a child when I walk through the door.
Yeah,
And you know how much I love my kids.
that's true too.
It's more so of like,
But these younger girls, man, they're just.
how old is she?
I don't know. I think he's like 26, and she's like 24. But traditional Hispanic girl, you know, a lot of them don't know how to cook or clean now, bro.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he's saying that he cleans, does the dishes. He's having a hard time with her. Like, you know,
Has he conveyed it to her?
I don't think so. And I was telling him, man, you need to be upfront with these things because they're only gonna grow. They're gonna get bigger
They're going
and
to
bigger.
fester and just get
Oh, my, that's what I
bigger
told him.
And
And I was
he's
like,
going to fucking explode.
I know, and it's like you just had a kid, dude. You don't want to lose her, and you don't want to use your child. Okay? And I told him that, and he was watching our podcast. He's like, "Oh, dude, you should do one about, you know, how to keep a marriage, you know." And I was like, "Oh, definitely, I'll throw that out to my buddy." So I'm glad we did this, and hopefully you can see this.
If I'm him, I was in a similar
Mm-hmm.
situation. But I would come home and I would cook a lot. I'm not gonna lie, a lot. And then, but my wife would learn to mill. My wife gradually wanted to learn because she wanted to be that wife for me.
Yeah, and that's
And
growing
part of
together.
exactly, and that's part of being a support system.
Yes, instead of downing, that's such a good way of looking at it, man. Because you could be negative, but oh, you don't cook, you don't clean, you
That's
don't
a
do
life.
this.
That's a life change too.
That is, and she might not have grown up that way, where she is in the kitchen with her mom, prepping for her brothers and her dad.
My wife sure as fuck wasn't.
You know,
She was hooping.
Luckily, my wife did do that. She prepped that way. You know, that was her way of living.
But now it also goes back down to the morals and values.
Yes, it does. But once I know your weaknesses, I can't throw that on you. We have to face them together, right? So if I lack in one field,
I will agree on that because I picked up the spatula and pan and
see,
I'd help cook.
and maybe that's what he needs to do. And be like, you know what, babe, you go ahead and hang on to that child. I'll cook something for us.
Yeah.
Instead of eating, because he says he's eating fast food like every
No,
fucking day.
goddamn, dude.
I'm like, bro.
One, that's hurting your bank account. Two, that's hurting your cholesterol.
And just wait till your kid gets bigger. What, you're gonna give him fucking French fries and Happy Meals all day?
Dude, if he's got like an extra $600-700, buy a Traeger. Put the shit outside, let it cook.
Start going to Kentucky or start getting some meat. Start fucking throwing it on there.
But if I could give him, man,
He's a big fan too. He's watched every one too. He's always giving me topics what he thinks.
it's when I went through it, it was more like, hey, this is how you do it. I'm gonna show you how to do it. But I wasn't coming from a place of anger or maliciousness. It was more like, I understand that she was an athlete just like I was.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know that girl's circumstances, but I will say, as a man, you set the standard, you set the example.
That is true. But how young is she? Where is her mindset? Like you said, we don't know where her mindset is.
Is she content with being a mom? Does she want to be a mom?
She's home all day and doesn't do anything. That's what he's telling me.
Oh, shit.
So no.
Is that what she wants to do?
Yeah, but if you're a stay-at-home mom, you need to get. There's certain things you need to get in order for the house to be that it's successful.
Does she want to do that though?
Washing. No, he's saying that he comes home and does the dishes, does everything, cleans the house. By the time
How old
he
is the
gets-
baby?
Baby's like 5 months.
So it's sleeping majority
yeah,
of the day.
toddler. So she's chilling, eating hot Cheetos, watching her fucking novellas. I guarantee.
Is she breastfeeding?
I don't know.
That's a question too.
But you
because
shouldn't be eating hot Cheetos or breastfeeding.
No, you shouldn't. But also, the time that baby's asleep, she needs to be asleep.
Yeah, or pumping and
Or
then go to
pumping.
sleep. Yeah, I like you say, you lead by example. Show her the way. If she's not gonna see that, then it's gonna be that's very important, guys, to know who you're having kids with.
Yeah, it's a big one.
You need to know, because if you don't, you're gonna be in a whole lot of trouble, and you're gonna be hurting on a day-to-day basis.
Me and my wife, have, ever since we started our kids, we didn't want somebody else raising our kids.
Yeah.
Which she was gonna raise our kids.
Okay.
She would be at home and I'd be working.
So you were like no go on the nanny.
Fuck no.
Okay.
If it wasn't her grandma or her grandma, it wasn't her mama or her aunt or a relative.
Yeah.
Hell to the nah. Nope.
Yeah,
Not gonna
but
happen.
if you're 26, 27 growing up, that means you're Gen Z. You need to learn some life skills, man.
But that's the problem.
And
with
that's
Gen
both
Z right
ways.
now.
That's both ways. That's male and female.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not.
Just as a man should know how to change an oil change brakes, change a tire.
Yeah.
A woman should know how to at least cook 5 meals.
Yeah. Yeah. 'cause
Whether it be fucking spaghetti, which you just fucking boil in the goddamn pot.
hey, I love spaghetti.
I love spaghetti. Well, I grew up eating a lot. My dad's Italian. I
Nice.
ate a lot of that shit. But butter noodles, eggs and noodles, fire. Oh my god, have you ever had eggs and
Yeah,
noodles?
I don't think I
Oh,
have.
dude, I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to cook you some.
Yeah.
But I mean, as a female, I mean, if she listens to this,
Yeah.
if your boy listens to this, tell her in the next 5 months, just learn 5 meals. How many days are in a week?
7.
7, right?
Yes, sir.
1 he can cook, 1 you can eat out. The rest of the days she can cook.
Yeah. Yeah. You can lead people to water though, Max. They have to drink it.
If she wants to make it work, she'll do it.
I know. And that's what I was telling him, because he's struggling out there, man. He's telling me, it's like, man, this is bothering me. And I'm
Has he had the conversation?
He hasn't. And that's what I told him. You got to be up front. Oh, I don't want to cause any problems. I'm like, dude, you're walking on eggshells and you guys haven't even been married. You're not even married. You're walking
Cause
on
the
eggshells.
problem.
That's what I was saying. I was like, that's the number one thing about marriage. You got to be up front. Attack the problems head on. If you hide them.
This is a major problem that needs to get fixed
Yes.
ASAP.
If you hide your problems, it will come back to haunt you 10 times more of the situation that I would have done originally if you would have squashed it right there and then. Because yes, you're gonna feel some type of way if I come with you with negativity. But if we can fix it together, then it'll be a success. You're gonna have conflict. You know? Yeah, it's every action has a reaction.
Yes.
So don't be scared.
And how long have they been together?
I haven't asked him that.
Was this like a
But it
one
doesn't
night stand
seem-
type of thing that
I don't-
happened in the oopsie?
I think it was like a
Or was it a
he's a
friends
friend
or
of the
bed-
family. He's a
Oh.
friend of the family that got with one of the cousins, and he just happened to impregnate her.
Damn.
Nah.
So they didn't even have a relationship.
And he's living in an apartment with her.
What city?
I do not know that.
Okay.
I don't think it's IE. I'm not sure though.
Okay. Because that plays a part in it.
It does play a part in it, but man, if you're living together, guys, before you guys start shagging up, that's the way to do it, so you can see that person. But if you're shagging up before you live with the person,
I would disagree.
But
You don't need to know if a woman can cook. You don't need
It's
to
not
live with the
that,
person
but I
and
need to
figure
know
out.
who you are. I need to know who you are and what I'm dealing with. If I'm just banging every woman that I see, and then I'm asking for trouble, that's fucking my fault. That's my fault for not being prepared. You know?
I agree to a certain extent, and the reason why I say that is because my faith and my morals and where I stand spiritually, and my faith, right? I don't think that you need to be married or live with that person to figure out who the person is.
You don't. But it helps.
It will help.
It helps. But if I'm sleeping with everybody at a bar and I get me
To me, it creates more fucking problems.
if you look for
Because you're both in
women-
a lease agreement or a mortgage or whatever the case is.
That's what I
together.
told him. Why? Because he just got the apartment. and now he's having these problems
Oh,
because now he's working double. He's working at home. He's giving her sleep when she should be sleeping all day. She should be sleeping with the
No.
baby. Well, not all day, but you should be sleeping, like you said.
I have a question. Does he have to wake up in the middle of the night to handle the baby?
That's a good. I'll ask him tomorrow. Because I will see him tomorrow.
Because that will piss me off. I mean, I here's the thing. When we had Luke, I was able, because of my job, I was able to wake up in the middle of the night and not have any issues. But, however, when I was working security
Yeah.
and construction, my wife would, the only thing she would ask me, it's like, hey, I got the baby, hand him to me. Can you get the bottle? Got you. I would do that, and then if he was crying or any of our kids were crying, she said, go sleep on the couch, you need rest.
My wife would do the same thing, dude.
Because she knew the role that I was playing.
Yeah.
She knew her role.
You gotta be a team player, man.
You know,
Yeah.
that's the thing. You're doing it together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's funny that we say that, because when we're planning our whole events tomorrow with the anniversary thing, it was
Yeah.
I was using the wrong verbiage.
You know, another thing is my wife, when we plan things like that, my wife hates that I tell her. But if I don't tell her and it's something that she doesn't like, then it's like,
Yeah.
why would you take me here? And I'm like, but you're like, I'm trying to surprise you. And you're like, you always tell me what we're doing so I can decide what we're doing. And I'm like, well, you're telling me, then how am I supposed to surprise you? I can't surprise. My surprises suck because I have to run it by you to make sure we're going to have a good time. You know? I'm like, what? How are we going to make this better? Because you know, like.
You don't know me?
So now I
Go
just
down that fucking
so now
road.
I figured a way. I send subliminal messages and see which one she likes. And I'm like, oh, and then I let it die down, and then boom.
Yeah,
you know?
because my biggest thing, dude, is women communicate. Don't make men read between the lines. It fucking irritates us. I hate it.
Yeah.
And if I'm telling you, I don't know about you, but I'm very direct, and my wife still hasn't understood it. She has and she hasn't. And it's more of like, I'm saying this because I fucking mean it.
Yeah.
And that's another thing, guys and girls. If you're in a relationship, don't say shit that you're gonna regret.
Yes, and choose your words wisely.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna tell you every time you're wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's, dude, I could talk on this shit for hours.
Hey,
But to your boy, I hope he listens to this.
yes.
It takes time in communication. And whoever else listens to this, man, I'm proud of my 15 years of marriage. I'm very proud of it.
Hoorah.
You know, that's Marines, fuckhead.
Sorry.
I'm
I
Army. Hua.
Hoorah.
It sounds gay as shit. but
Same.
Same thing.
Tomato.
Yeah.
Nah,
But Joey's going to kick your ass too.
I know, that's why. He's the one that always tells me. And my sister too, man. She's a
Oh,
she's a
that's
Navy.
right.
Yeah,
She's
it's-
Navy.
yeah,
So
she's
hers,
Navy.
I forgot what the Navy
I
is. It's
don't
some
know.
gay shit. Don't matter. No offense to whoever's Navy. I'm just fucking around. You guys understand what it's like.
Hey, all military branches are equal.
In my opinion, to be honest, you want to know my whole entire perspective on that?
We need to say that for another one.
Yeah, we'll save that another
Yeah,
one.
I'm definitely gonna
But
catch
we're on the same
Yeah.
trajectory on
Yeah.
that one. But you guys, I hope you like this one. Let us know what you guys think. If you want me to do a rundown of the whole Trump shooting thing, it's going to be apolitical. I won't give my views. It's just going to be overall analysis of the shooting and how there's no way that shit was a hoax. And I take me being a dad and taking pride in being a dad and knowing that that dude lost his life protecting his wife and his daughter.
Yeah.
For those of you who think and can sit there and say that it was staged and that it was a hoax, meanwhile, that little girl is planning a funeral for her dad,
Yeah.
pisses me off.
Yeah.
Pisses me off. Okay, but on that note, hope you guys enjoyed this one. This one was a kind of a long one. And to your boy,
So hang in there, man.
hang in there. and
Don't give up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot Steven text message and what else you want us to talk about, and I'll be praying for you.
Might have to get him on here, bro. Might
Yeah.
have to get him on here and let him.
That'll be a good one.
experience. Yeah,
We
that
gotta
way.
we'll get another
Yeah,
mic
yeah.
and we'll have people on here.
Yeah. Yep.
But I'll be praying for you and your partner. I hope things get better. On that note, guys, got anything else, Steven?
No. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, throw some comments in there. Again, guys, you guys want to hear what we're talking about? Please give us some topics. We love to chat it up and give some different point of views on what you guys are thinking about.
Yeah. Shout out to Millennials not giving up.
Yes. All right, guys. Take
All
it
right,
easy.
Later.